Welcome to my guide on Kezalam the Wanderer, who is the second boss within the Sanctum of Rebirth. Now, this boss does attack with magic if you are far away, and melee if you are close up and personal to him. There will be a lot of useful boosts, and that will be Anticipate and Freedom, which does prevent stuns, and 3 familiars that are good. If you are a learner, I do suggest to have the Hellhound familiar, as you'll take 20% less damage. As for some additional items, it will be helpful to have the Disruption Shield, which blocks 1 hit, but keep in mind it can easily get sniped, and the Power Burst of Vitality can double your current health for 6 seconds. Dread Nips are very good because it can stun the monster, preventing them from building their adrenaline and using their special attacks, and Death Mark, once their health drops below 20%, it will instantly KO them. For the very first mechanic, it will happen pretty much instantly of the boss fight, and what you want to do is go into one of the 4 orange squares on screen, as this will be a safe spot because the boss will do this pretty much instantly, and you're able to pretty much soul split. And then even in hard mode, where the boss will do 2 sets of this, it will always be a safe spot. This way you're able to just focus on DPSing. Next up will be the Ice Prison mechanic, in which case you'll get a blue adrenaline bar filling up on your screen. You'll want to either use Freedom or Anticipate and then kill 1 icicle and then run out. If you do not, you will actually be taking a painful 8,000 hit. So what you want to do is pretty much Finger of Death, Rapid Fire, Wild Magic, or any other strong ability, and then simply move out of the way. If you are unable to get out of the Ice Prison, players are able to use the Reflect ability to reduce the damage to about 4,000. And then what I like to do is just Surge, so you're on the opposite side still in the safe spot. The next special mechanic would be Kaya. If you're standing in the middle of the arena, that means you will actually want to go melee distance to the boss. Now, afterwards, since we'll be standing in melee distance, he will say Gra, in which case you want to step back into the middle of the arena. If the player is at the edges of the arena, he will say her or R, in which case he'll target those. But the only thing notable is in normal mode, he will do 2 sets of these little waves. In hard mode, he will do a 3rd one, in which case there will be a little bit of delay right now. And this will determine the next mechanic on where you are, in which case for me, it will always be running into melee distance. For phase 2, the boss will spawn 2 unstable scarabs per player, in which case you will want to use the Soul Strike ability, stunning them, preventing them to fill up their bar. If they are able to fill up their bar, they will deal about 4,000 damage to you. Afterwards, I did phase the boss and will be attacking one of the 2 obelisks. What I like to do is bloat 1 and then just DPS and Death Mark the other. If the boss does charge his little hit points to 40, he will have a massive spec happening, and then the best way to avoid this is simply stand behind the obelisk, as it will be a safe spot. And then you'll just want to focus on the boss, avoid the mechanics, and then just get rid of the obelisk. There will be 2. And then once you have destroyed both of them, it will start phase 2. But within phase 2 will be another mechanic called Pain, in which case the boss will spawn a little light path like the Vindictive Flames coming from both directions towards the player. You will simply want to run out of the way. It will be a little bit easy, but it depends if you're like using magic or range, in which case you will be maybe around the edges, in which case the mechanic can have been cut quite quickly. But if you're in the middle of the arena, you do have a little bit more time to deal with that. Since we went over all the mechanics, this would be a kill example, and then right here, you want to go in the safe spot, attack the boss. If you do have split soul, you are able to use it to deal extra DPS, since you will not be taking any damage to the boss. Now right here, my Dreadnought did proc, and it did freeze the boss for about 6 or 8 seconds. In which case this was perfect, because remember, the next upcoming special mechanic will be the Icicle, in which case you'll want to Anticipate or Freedom. And then of course just get out of melee distance from the boss. And then you'll just want to DPS. What you can do is use Threads of Fate, Soul Strike, so that you're able to get 5 souls for the Volley of Souls. Then right here, just remember, the very third wave does have a little bit of stall, since the monster is like, okay, how far are you? And then which mechanic he is able to use. Then you'll just want to pretty much go to one of the obelisk and def mark it, and that is because once it drops to 18,000 health, it will instantly killing it. This is to ensure you always get it within the 40 tick that the boss does give you. Then you just want to focus on the mechanics, avoiding them. Right here, I actually did tank most of it. What you can do if you do have fairly slow reactive time, because this happens very quick, you are able to use the reflect ability to recoil damage back to the monster, taking half the damage, and then you are able to actually out-eat all three of them. And then for the scarabs, again, you could Threads of Fate the boss, get the 5 soul stacks pretty much, and then just use Soul Strike on each scarab, all while avoiding the mechanics he does at the same time, because yes, they are able to multi-stack, just like the Vorkath fight. Now, it does take a bit of time getting used to the time mechanics for those 3 sets of waves that is happening now. So again, you could just reflect, debilitate, or even resonance to block one hit. It will not heal you, it will just block that damage. Then you have the icicle coming up again. Just remember to always anticipate or freedom. Although sometimes, if you freedom before it happens and your dreadnought does stun the monster, you are actually able to get that 8,000 typeless hit, which is very brutal. So do keep an eye on if your dreadnought is out or not. Once the second obelisk is destroyed, phase 3 will start. And this will be pretty much phase 1 in a sense, as the boss will do all the mechanics, except it will not do the icicle special attack or the unstable scarabs where you do have to poison them with the soul strike ability. So again, just avoid the 3 waves of attack. You should be fairly fine, and then he can do it again or just a single once. And then once the boss is fairly low, this is when I like to use Death Mark, and that is once the boss has 30,000 health or less, it will instantly KOing them, which yes, it is able to cancel any mechanics that did happen at that time, and then afterwards you are able to loot the boss. And congratulations, you have gotten your kill. Thank you all so much for watching this, and enjoy the rest of your day. Don't forget to like, subscribe, or comment down below any video suggestions or questions you have, and I will try to answer them. And enjoy the rest of your day.